You know that feeling? Like you're pouring money into marketing and nothing's happening. It's like throwing it into a black hole. Crickets. Where are the sales?
Yeah. A lot of CEOs are feeling that pain right now.
Totally. And it turns out the old marketing playbook is kind of dead.
It really is.
So this deep dive is for you if you're a CEO and you're feeling that frustration, especially if you're leading an early stage company or you're trying to, scale your growth, or even if you have an established business that just needs like a total reboot. We're diving into the insights of Greg Rosner. He's a CEO and a fractional CMO who's really cracked the code on what actually works in today's crazy, noisy market.
He really has. He's got a ton of experience working with CEOs just like you. And he's helped them achieve explosive growth. And the key is they've made 5 key shifts in their marketing approach. And we've analyzed 3 of his master classes so we can bring you the most important takeaways. Think of this as a shortcut to a year's worth of marketing strategy in the next few minutes.
I love it. Okay, let's unpack this. So the first thing that really jumped out at me was Rosner's emphasis on the problem. He says most CEOs are making this fundamental mistake. They're so focused on the solution, their amazing product, that they totally forget to connect it to the customer's pain points.
It's true. They're speaking a different language. He calls it solution speak. They're obsessed with features and benefits instead of really understanding like what the customer is going through.
Right. And, in a market that's flooded with solutions, just adding yours to the pile isn't going to cut it.
No, it's not enough.
It's not enough anymore. He uses this great analogy of being at a conference where everyone is shouting about their product, but no one's listening.
It's so true.
How do you stand out in that noise?
Well, that's the million-dollar question. And Rosner's answer is you lead with the problem, not the product. His first shift is all about leading a movement, not a sales pitch. So you have to ask yourself, what change are you driving in the world? What enemy are you and your ideal customer united against? Think of it like a rallying cry, one that really captures the essence of the problem you're solving.
So it's bigger than just you and your product.
Much bigger.
It's like a movement.
It's a movement.
I like that. He gives the example of Salesforce with their no software movement. So they weren't just selling CRM software, they were leading this movement away from the clunky on-premise software of the past.
Which everybody hated.
Exactly.
They tapped into that frustration that businesses were feeling at the time, and they positioned themselves as the champions of this new cloud-based future.
And it worked brilliantly.
It did.
HubSpot did something similar with inbound marketing. They weren't just selling marketing automation tools, they were offering a totally new way to think about attracting customers. Again, they weren't leading with their product, they were leading with the problem that their customers were facing. The ineffectiveness of traditional outbound marketing.
Which was a huge problem,
Yeah.
especially back then.
Yeah, totally. So think about your company. What's your hashtag? What's that one phrase, battle cry that captures the movement you're leading? What shift are you making happen in the world?
That's the question.
That's a good question.
It should start with a verb, like a call to action. And it should be about your customer's mission, not yours.
That's a good distinction. I love how he uses the example of Zoom Info. Their hashtag is hit your number. Now they sell data. But they're not leading with that. They're leading with the outcome their customers want, hitting their sales targets.
And that's what the CEO cares about.
Exactly.
Every CEO wants to hit their number.
It's brilliant. It's like such a simple way to connect with your customers on an emotional level. You're not just selling them a product. You're helping them achieve their goals and overcome their challenges.
And that's what people buy. They buy solutions to problems.
Okay, so we got to lead a movement.
Yeah.
But how do we even find that movement? Like, how do we know what that is? And Rosner's second shift gives us the answer. Start with the problem.
This is where it gets really interesting.
Okay, tell me more.
So instead of jumping right into your solution, you need to take a step back and really understand the problem your customer is facing. And not just the problem itself, but where they are in their journey of dealing with that problem.
So their mindset.
Exactly.
Oh, that's good. He talks about the buyer's belief curve. I like that. It's like, imagine your ideal customer. Are they completely ignoring the problem that your solution solves? Are they starting to feel the pain? Or are they desperate for an answer, like ready to jump at a solution?
And most CEOs don't even think about that.
They don't.
They just assume everyone is ready to buy.
They assume everyone's at that desperate stage.
Right. But that's not the case.
No, it's not.
Knowing where your customer sits on this curve, that's crucial to crafting a message that resonates.
Okay, so give me an example. How does this work in the real world?
Sure. So he uses this example of a healthcare tech company. Their old website was all about their innovative solutions for managing hospital equipment,
Okay.
but it wasn't resonating.
So they were speaking solution speak
Totally. They were so focused on their product, they weren't making the connection to the
to
problem,
the main point.
to the pain point.
And what did they do?
They flipped the script. So instead of leading with their solution, they led with the problem. Hospitals are wasting money on underutilized equipment.
Ah,
And guess what? They crippled their revenue
triple their revenue.
just by shifting the focus from their product to the problem their customers were facing.
Wow, that's incredible.
It is.
It's a powerful reminder that people buy solutions to problems, not products.
It's so true.
To really drive that point home, he uses the analogy of vitamins versus painkillers.
Oh, I love this one.
Me too.
Mhm.
Think about it.
Yeah.
Which are you more likely to buy right now? A vitamin for some potential future benefit, or a painkiller to relieve an immediate headache?
Painkiller for sure.
Same. Like, if I've got a headache,
Mhm.
I'm going to buy the thing that solves my headache.
Exactly. People are driven by pain, and they're much more likely to buy something to relieve that pain than to achieve some vague future gain.
I love this. So this is a good takeaway for our listeners. Instead of leading with your solution, lead with the pain point. Make your customer feel seen and understood.
Empathize with their struggle,
Yes.
and then present your solution as the answer to their prayers.
Love it.
It's simple, but powerful,
It is.
and it can completely transform your marketing.
Absolutely. Okay.
Huh.
So we're leading a movement. We're starting with a problem. What's next? How do we take this even further?
Well, shift number 3 is all about making your customer the hero.
Yes. Make the customer the hero. We've all heard that. But how many of us actually do it?
It's not enough to just say it. You have to weave it into every aspect of your messaging.
Okay, how?
So Rosner uses this analogy of the hero's journey. You know, every hero needs a guide,
Right.
and that's where you come in.
Yeah.
As the expert, the mentor, the one who can help your customer overcome their challenges and achieve their goals.
So it's like we're Yoda,
Eggs.
and our customer is Luke Skywalker.
That's a good one.
I like that. Okay, so how do we make them the hero? What does that look like?
Think about the story your customers are telling themselves about their problem. How can you position your solution as the key to their success?
Interesting. So it's not about bragging about your product. It's about empowering your customer to succeed.
Exactly.
It's about shifting the focus from your product to the outcome your customer wants,
Right.
and doing that consistently across all your marketing channels. From your website copy to your sales presentations to your LinkedIn posts.
Everything.
Okay, this is starting to sound like a pretty epic marketing strategy. So
Yeah.
we're leading a movement. We're starting with a problem. We're making the customer the hero. What's next?
Shift number 4, and this is a big one. It's all about naming your category.
Naming your category. What do you mean by that?
It's about creating a new, distinct category that you own. It's like smartphones instead of just mobile phones. It gives your solution context, and it positions you as a leader.
Oh, I like that. Okay, so give me an example.
Think about Salesforce again. They
Right.
didn't just create CRM software. They created the category of cloud-based CRM. This gave them a massive competitive advantage because it positioned them as the innovators, the pioneers of a new era.
And HubSpot did the same thing with inbound marketing.
Exactly.
So they didn't just create marketing automation software. They created a whole new way of thinking about marketing.
Right. It's about thinking creatively about your solution and identifying that unique value proposition. That really sets you apart.
So how do we figure out our category?
You have to ask yourself, what problem are you solving? And are you solving it in a way that no one else is?
Oh, that's good. And he gave some great examples from his clients too, right?
Yeah, he did.
Like what?
One of his clients created the category of intelligent recovery for their Kubernetes application resiliency software.
Okay.
And another client created the category of on-trip guest intelligence for their travel technology platform.
Those are good.
They are. They're both descriptive and aspirational. They capture the essence of the solution and the transformation being offered in a way that's both memorable and meaningful.
So we've covered 4 powerful shifts. Leading a movement, starting with a problem, making the customer the hero, and naming your category. But Rosner saved the most intriguing shift for last.
He calls it the secret weapon, co-intelligence marketing.
Ooh, that sounds cool. Tell me more.
This is where he takes us into the future of marketing. And he's leveraging the power of AI, but in a way that most CEOs aren't even thinking about yet. And it's particularly relevant for CEOs like you, who are looking to make a big impact and scale their growth quickly.
All right. Let's dive into this. What is co-intelligence marketing and why is it so important, especially for CEOs who are trying to scale their businesses?
So, co-intelligence marketing is all about using the power of AI to really supercharge your marketing efforts.
Hmm.
But it's not about just using AI to like automate tasks or generate generic content. It's about creating a co-intelligence marketer, like a custom trained AI that's powered by your unique messaging framework.
Wait, hold on. A custom-trained AI? That sounds like something out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound futuristic, but the technology is here now. Think about it this way. Imagine you have a 247 marketing team that knows everything about your business, your ideal customers, their pain points, your brand voice, your value proposition.
Wow, okay. I see where you're going with this. That would be incredible,
Yeah.
especially for a CEO like me who's wearing a million hats
Yeah.
and, doesn't always have the time to micromanage every aspect of marketing.
Exactly. It's like having a marketing expert on call 24/7, cranking out high-quality on-brand content across all your channels, from website copy to emails to social media posts, even like entire ebooks.
Okay, but how does this actually work? Like, how do you train an AI to do all that?
Well, that's where your core messaging framework comes in. Remember all those key questions we talked about earlier?
You mean like who is our ideal customer? What's their biggest problem? What do they believe about their current situation? What change are we driving in the world?
Exactly. All of that, the answers to those questions, that becomes the foundation for training your AI. You're essentially distilling all your brand knowledge, your customer understanding, and your expertise into a document that teaches your AI to think and communicate like you.
So it's not about replacing human marketers altogether.
Absolutely not. It's about giving your human marketers a superpower. It's about freeing them up from those tedious tasks so they can focus on strategy, creativity, and building relationships.
Okay, so co-intelligence marketing. It's basically combining the best of human intelligence with the power and scale of AI. It's like having a team of marketing superheroes working for you around the clock. But let's be realistic. Is this something that's actually achievable for, like, a normal company?
Absolutely. The tools and resources are available right now. Rosner actually walked us through his process for building these custom AI marketers in his masterclass.
So this isn't some far-off future technology. It's something that CEOs can start implementing today to get a leg up on the competition.
Exactly. Rosner even argues that by 2029, every company will be using co-intelligence marketing in some form. It's just a matter of who gets there first.
This is mind-blowing stuff. And honestly, it makes me feel a little behind the curve. So for CEOs who are just starting to wrap their heads around these 5 shifts, what are some practical steps they can take to start implementing them in their businesses?
Well, the first step is awareness.
Yeah.
And you've already taken that step by, diving into this with us today.
Yeah.
You're recognizing that the old marketing playbook isn't working anymore and that you need to embrace a new way of thinking.
Right. Awareness is key. You can't fix a problem you don't know you have.
Exactly. The next step is to take a hard look at your current marketing strategy. Is it truly problem-centric? Are you leading with the pain point? Are you making your customer the hero?
And if not, what can CEOs do to start making those changes?
Rosner has some great advice for this. He says one of the most important things you can do is hire a sales enabler.
A sales enabler. What exactly is that?
It's someone who understands how to translate marketing into revenue. They bridge the gap between marketing and sales, and they ensure that all your marketing efforts are aligned with your sales goals.
Ah, okay. So they're not just focused on generating leads. They're focused on making sure those leads actually turn into paying customers.
Exactly. They're looking at the entire customer journey, from awareness to purchase, and optimizing every step of the way.
Okay. This is so helpful. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together to create a truly effective marketing machine. But what about my website? Where does that fit into all of this?
Your website is your most valuable marketing asset. It should be the central hub of your movement, the place where your ideal customers go to understand your value proposition and why they should choose you.
So it's not just about having a pretty website. It needs to be designed to convert visitors into leads and ultimately into customers.
Exactly. He calls it a conversion site. And he emphasizes that it should be your best sales presentation.
Okay, what are some of the key elements that a conversion site should have?
Well, it should start by clearly articulating the problem that your ideal customer is facing. Remember, lead with the pain point. Then tell a compelling story about the transformation you offer. Don't just list features and benefits. Explain how your solution helps your customers achieve their goals and overcome their challenges.
So it's about painting a picture of a better future for your customers, a future where their problems are solved. and they're thriving.
Exactly. And don't forget to include social proof, testimonials, case studies, data points, anything that shows potential customers that your solution actually works and that other people are already benefiting from it.
Right. Social proof is so important for building trust and credibility. It's like having a friend recommend a product. You're much more likely to try it if someone you trust already loves it.
Exactly. And finally, make sure you have a strong call to action. What do you want visitors to do after they've learned about your solution? Do you want them to schedule a demo, download a white paper, sign up for a webinar? Make it clear and easy for them to take the next step.
So it's about guiding your visitors through the buyer's journey, from awareness to consideration to decision.
And Rosner actually shared a template for his magnetic messaging framework in one of his masterclasses, which outlines the key sections your website should have to maximize conversions.
Interesting.
It's about creating a website that's structured to convert, to turn visitors into leads and leads into customers.
This is incredibly valuable information.
Yeah.
I can already see how implementing these changes could have a huge impact on my website's performance. But one thing that's still nagging at me is this idea that most CMOs are behind the curve on these shifts.
Yeah, that's one of Rosner's most provocative points. He's basically saying that many CEOs are relying on CMOs who are stuck in the old way of doing things. They're still focused on vanity metrics, on creating flashy campaigns that win awards, but don't actually drive sales.
So what's the solution? Should CEOs be looking to replace their CMOs with someone who's more aligned with these principles?
That's a tough question, and it really depends on this specific situation. But Rosner does suggest that CEOs might want to consider working with a fractional CMO.
A fractional CMO, what's that?
It's basically an experienced marketing leader who works with you on a part-time or project basis. They bring a fresh perspective, a wealth of knowledge, and they can help you implement these shifts quickly and effectively.
That makes sense, especially for early-stage companies or companies that are going through a period of rapid growth. They might not have the resources to hire a full-time CMO, but they still need that strategic guidance.
Exactly. And because fractional CMOs work with multiple clients, they're constantly exposed to new ideas and best practices. They can bring a level of expertise and innovation that you might not find in a traditional CMO.
Wow, I'm learning so much. This is really making me rethink my entire approach to marketing. But let's be honest, all of this sounds like a lot of work. Is it really realistic to expect CEOs to implement all of these changes on top of everything else they're doing?
It's definitely a challenge, but it's a challenge worth taking on. Rosner provides a ton of practical advice and resources to help you along the way. And he emphasizes that you don't have to do everything at once. Start by focusing on one or two of the shifts that resonate with you the most, and then build from there.
So it's about taking a strategic approach and prioritizing the changes that will have the biggest impact.
Exactly. And remember, you don't have to do it alone. There are resources available to help you, whether it's a fractional CMO, a marketing consultant, or even just a community of like-minded CEOs who are going through the same journey.
Okay, this is incredibly helpful. I'm starting to feel a lot more confident about tackling these challenges and transforming my marketing into a true growth engine. But what about results? Does Rosner offer any proof that these 5 shifts actually work?
Oh, absolutely. He shares tons of examples from his clients who have seen incredible results after implementing these shifts.
Like what kind of results are we talking?
We're talking about companies that have tripled their revenue, increased their win rates, shortened their sales cycles, and attracted a whole new audience of ideal customers.
That's amazing. And are these just tech companies? Or is this applicable to other industries as well?
It's applicable to any business, regardless of industry. He's worked with clients in healthcare, technology, manufacturing, professional services, you name it, and the results are consistent. When you focus on solving your customers' problems and leading with a movement that resonates, the sales follow.
So it's not about gimmicks or quick fixes. It's about going back to the fundamentals of marketing, understanding your customer, their pain points, and their aspirations, and building a marketing strategy around that.
Exactly. And it's about using the right tools and technologies to amplify your message and reach your ideal customers in the most effective way possible.
This is truly a game changer for CEOs who are ready to embrace a new way of thinking about marketing.
And Rosner's insights are a roadmap to that new way of thinking. It's a call to action for CEOs to step up and become the marketing leaders their companies need.
This deep dive has definitely given us a lot to think about.
And that brings us to the most important question of all. Are you ready to make the shift?
Are you ready to step up and become the rebel leader who challenges the status quo and creates a marketing strategy that actually drives sales? because the world is changing, and the old way of doing things just isn't working anymore.
It's not.
It feels like we're at a turning point.
Yeah.
We've been talking about how the old ways of marketing are dying,
Yeah.
and how CEOs need to really step up and lead this change.
It's their responsibility.
And that's what I find so exciting about this deep dive. It's not just about tweaking a few tactics here and there. It's about a fundamental shift in mindset
Totally. It's about getting back to the core of what marketing is all about, solving your customers' problems.
and building a movement around that solution.
Exactly. It's about creating a tribe of loyal customers who believe in what you're doing and are excited to be a part of your journey.
It's about making them the heroes of their own stories
Right.
and positioning your solution as the key to their success.
And it's about using the power of AI to amplify your efforts and create a marketing machine that works 24/7 to attract, engage, and convert your ideal customers.
It's a little daunting, but also incredibly inspiring.
I know, it's a lot.
Huh.
But the CEOs who are willing to embrace these shifts, they're going to be the ones who define the future of their industries.
They're going to be the ones who build the iconic brands of tomorrow.
The ones who create the movements that change the world.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to go back to that question you asked earlier. Are you ready to make this shift?
Are you ready to step up and become the marketing leader your company needs? Are you ready to challenge the status quo and create a marketing strategy that actually drives sales?
The choice is yours.
It is.
This has been an amazing deep dive, just packed with actionable insights and a really powerful vision for the future of marketing.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it's inspired you to think differently about your own marketing strategy and the role that you can play in shaping the future of your company.
That's what we hope.
So until next time, keep diving deep, keep challenging assumptions, and keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible.
Couldn't have said it better myself.